Hi, this is Melanie of Pardesi Reviews, and I'm here to do a movie review of Shubh Mangal Zyada Saavdhan. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do trailer reactions and film reviews of Indian cinema. Sorry, I have a horrible cold and sinus infection, if it's hard to understand me. Ayushmann Khurrana is a genre in and of itself. He has done just about every issue movie that you can think of, from Vicky Donor, where he played a sperm donor, to a movie about erectile dysfunction, a movie about premature baldness, a movie about pretending to be a woman and his career. Like, there's so many different movies, and so in a way, he's the perfect one because he is such a brand. People know he's going to do a comedy. It's still going to be palatable for family audiences, but he's going to go there with something that's a little bit edgy, like the erectile dysfunction movie. And I think it's absolutely a rule now that Bhumi Padnekar has to have a cameo in every one of his movies as well. She has a short cameo in this film. Ayushmann is playing a homosexual character who's already in a romance with another man played by Jitendra Kumar, who evidently is famous from certain web series, but he was new to me. I thought he did a great job. Now, you might think the way Ayushmann often does some of these films is he's sort of the funny, put upon, sometimes like in Bad Hai Ho, the one that just kind of explodes with everything that is happening to him. So you might have thought he would be the closeted character, but he isn't. He's the more flamboyant, already out character, and hits his partner, Aanand, who's played by Jitendra, who is closeted to his family. Now, something happens, and people find out that they're in a relationship, and Gajraj Rao and Neena Gupta play Aanand's parents. They are so funny, but they're kind of a stand-in for conservative, Indian families who just, number one, can't even conceive of it, and then go through all of those things like, well, we'll get you fixed, we'll do this, we'll hold a ritual, and you become a new man, and they go through all of these things. This year has been kind of an amazing year for representation of lesbian and gays in Indian cinema and television. So, of course, we had Sonam Kapoor playing a lesbian character in Ek Ladki Ko Dekha To Aase Laga. That movie, while not perfect, kind of gently broached the subject of someone who was very unhappy if she couldn't just be herself and didn't want to marry a man. It had moments of a lot of humor, but it also had moments of angst. Then we had the TV show Zoya Akhtar's Made in Heaven, which was on Amazon Prime, and Arjun Mathur played a gay character who was one of the main characters of the show, part of this wedding planning team. I happened to see Arjun Mathur at the Chicago South Asian Film Festival, and he talked about how he really was amazed at the cultural impact his playing a gay character had, that regular families, his parents, friends, everyone was talking about the issues brought up in the series about being homosexual in a time when, at that time in the show, it had not been made legal, how the discussions were starting and how that was amazing. One of the opening shots of the relationship of Ayushmann, he is riding on a motorcycle with Aanand, and he's snuggling up, and he's got, his head on his shoulder, and they come up to a stoplight, and there's a girl doing exactly the same thing to her boyfriend right next to them on another bike. Even if they're not saying the words, they're visually telling you this is the same. They're giving this message. From what I hear, people are going to this movie. Whole families are going. And that's awesome. It's not a perfect film, but I thought it was really good. A little preachy in a few moments, but I thought Ayushmann was great. Well, he always is. But it has such a great supporting cast. There's so many funny lines. I thought the guy playing Aanand, Jitendra, was very good as well. And let me tell you, they go there. It's not just like a little peck on the cheek or fade to black or something. There is an extended, long kiss between the two male characters, and I thought that was awesome too. Kudos to Ayushmann for playing this part. and being that kind of brand that families feel safe going to his movies and exploring a little bit of an edgy, subject matter. I thought it was really amusing, a lot of funny parts, and there's this whole thing about Gajraj Rao is the father of Aanand is supposed to be a scientist, and he's created black cauliflower. And at first I was like, what the heck is this about? Like, literally farmers are protesting outside their house and throwing black cauliflower at them. And Gajraj Rao is like, well, I have, it's black, but it will be, disease-free, worm-free or whatever. And later in the movie, it's found to, in fact, have worms. And I think the message was that you're trying to change something that should just be the way it is in nature. And like the way that people who still believe that homosexuality is a choice, which it isn't, and that people should be able to go through some sort of therapy and cure the disease, which is obviously ridiculous. And that's discussed in the movie. Ayushmann has a conversation in a rickshaw, which I think was in the trailer, with Aanand's uncle, who says, well, why did you choose to be gay? And he's like, well, when did you choose to not be gay? There was this message about nature and trying to mess with what just is in nature, but I'm not sure that whole black cauliflower thing really came through in an obvious way to everyone. I kind of figured it out on the way home, but I was a little tortured. This director, Hitesh Kewalya, this is his feature debut. He wrote the script as well, and it's produced by Aanand L with his Color Yellow production company. I think this is a really strong debut for this director. I thought the music also was really good in this film. I hadn't been watching the music videos for this, but I thought they were all really fun. And over the end credits, there's a fun sort of retro disco kind of song. It's interesting. You think about where films like Dostana, which I think was about 2008, and Kal Ho Na Ho, where there was a lot of wink comedy about homosexuals, or a little bit of winks to the audience about it, like, Saif and Shah Rukh Khan waking up in bed together and the maid assumes something that isn't there and they play along with it. And so you think about how far we've come from that, and Dostana, where we have Abhishek and John Abraham kissing at the end, but it's like, again, it's all for comedy. And then coming here to 2020 and we have a wonderful movie like this. This movie is just sweet, and I loved all the references to DDLJ. So there's a couple of scenes where one of the other character is holding out his hand, like my pillow, holding out his hand for the other person to get on the train, which I love that. And it was interesting how the subtitles changed. At one point, Ayushmann's character is supposed to be obsessed with Amitabh. And in the subtitles, they just kept changing it to hero, but I could hear him say Amitabh, saying to Aman, do you want to be Amitabh, or do you want to be, the hero or the bystander? But there was also a thread about Amrish Puri, the villain, and so kind of saying that Gajraj Rao was that character. And then at the end, he gives the iconic line, go live your life, to Aanand. And it was a beautiful moment. I loved all those ties, like that this love story is just as valid and has as many complications with family and whatever as all of these other movie love stories that we've seen. And I hope this is just the beginning of more and more great stories like this. I would love to know what you thought about this film in the comments below. If you saw it in India, what were the houses like? Are they full? It was pretty much sold out at the showing that I went to in the evening here, opening day in Chicago, which I was glad to see. But I'm curious how audiences are responding to this film in India. So let me know in the comments. Follow me on Twitter at PardeziYT. Subscribe here to Pardesi Reviews. And if you hit the bell when you subscribe, you'll never miss another trailer action or a film review.